What is up, everybody? Welcome to this new series called Growing Up PK. Now, PK stands for Pastor's Kid, which is something I've been for so many years, and I don't regret it at all. Sometimes. Depends. But I don't regret being in church, nor do I regret growing up in church. So what's going to happen in the next couple of videos, or in this series, it depends how long this goes for. I'm just going to talk about growing up in church and growing up as a pastor's kid. Now, before anything else, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, hit that notification button, and stay tuned for more PK videos, alright? With that being said, cue the intro. Alright guys, so growing up PK, growing up as a pastor's kid. Now let me say something. Pastor's kids have it very differently than regular churchgoers. Pastor's kids are always in the eyesight of everybody, and people are expecting them to do something either good or bad. There's never in between. If you're doing nothing, you're doing something bad. If you're doing something good, you're doing something bad. So as a PK, bro, people are always gonna be judging you no matter what. And it sucks. It's like, you have kids too, lady. Like, your kid plays Xbox too. That's not from the devil, right? But if I'm playing it, it's from the devil, right? I've gotten my parents in trouble so many times. And it wasn't because I was doing bad things. It wasn't because I was sinning. It's because, you know, I didn't put a tie to play on church on Sundays. I didn't comb my hair to the side, but I had a mohawk growing up in church. Guys, I was that PK that I was always involved, alright? And this is probably one of the things every PK knows about that. If you're a pastor's kid, you grow up playing either in the band, you're either in the media, you're either a pastor's kid, you're either a preacher, meaning you're a youth pastor, a Sunday school teacher, or your dad puts you to preach in the main stage because, you know, he feels sick. But you're always involved, and this is where some of the PKs just leave church once they turn 18. They're like, you know what, I don't do this crap. Boom. Now, here's the thing: just because you're doing things in church doesn't mean PKs are not doing bad things. Like, let me tell you something: PKs are the best at getting away with things and not getting caught. The thing about PKs is that they don't be posting everything on their social media. They're not like you guys. They're smart. You know, if they're gonna do something they're not maybe supposed to, or their parents might get, you know, mad about, or their church might just find out, they're like, I'm not gonna post it, and I'm only gonna tell the 3 other PKs I'm gonna do it with. I'm gonna go party, let me go hang out with my PK friends. You know, you always find PKs everywhere and anywhere. Now, I'm not saying that I tolerate these things. I made a mistake. I did some things I'm not supposed to, and maybe I still do things I'm not supposed to. But the thing about a lot of PKs, a lot of PKs know where their faith is in Christ and where their relationship stands with Christ. If anything, I've never ever doubted God as a PK. I doubted people, and I doubted the leadership in church because they're just some sketchy mother effers, and sometimes they don't know what the hell they're doing, and they try to run church like if it's a prison, but they keep on forgetting that church is about love, about forgiveness, about acceptance, and pushing people's talents to explode. But it's not about competition. You know, a lot of people in church, they expect you to be successful and very prosperous, but it's just as long as they're not more successful than that person or more prosperous than that person, and that is just wrong. I remember I was growing up in church, I was playing in the band, and I always told my MD at the time, hey, let's write some music, let's compose some music, and he was always like, no, Leo, let's not do that, let's not waste our time. So we ended up playing some weird ass chunga music.
Buckle my shoe, 1, 2, buckle my shoe, 3, 4, shut the door, 5, 6, pick up sticks.
Some crazy ass music. You know, if you grew up in church, you were always playing no matter what. And if your dad was like my dad, like a preacher that will always need band, bro, we were playing at least 3 hours. This is not the whole service. This is just the preaching and the worship. Don't get me started with announcements, man. You always put the most you always put the most illiterate people to give announcements. And you're just like, bro, like, that sister doesn't know how to read, bro. Like, she only has like a 2nd grade education.
But if you ain't worthy, if you've been boyfriend and ain't been laying up with your boyfriend, amen, Saturday night and be in the commune, and you better not take that bread.
But we have to, you know, give everyone a chance in the church, and we gotta make sure they serve the Lord. It's like, make her do something that she knows how to do. And then announcements are like 10 hours because the lady's trying to read it, or the guy's trying to read it down, and me as a PK, I'm just in the back like, yo, this is bad. It's like a college level spelling bee with 5-year-olds. That's how announcements are at church sometimes. If you're PK, you know what I'm talking about. I'm just like, oh my goodness, who the heck called the lady to do this? PKs, you know what I'm talking about. And I know a lot of you PKs are laughing, but I know there's a lot of people that are very involved in church. They're probably a little upset hearing me say this, but you know what? we've been saying this for many years now, so I'm not the one starting this, all right? Mr. Leader, Mr. Elder, you know, take a chill pill. I'm pretty sure we're going to talk about you too, because there's those elders in church that think they're the pastor, and then they're like, well, since the pastor's not here, let me start the meeting. And everybody's like,
in the last 3 years will mean nothing. Stop walking in front of the prophet.
who are you? I'm the elder. I'm like, yeah, bro, sit down, bro. You're an elder for just moving chairs. Like, relax. People always use their title to do something, and I'm just like, ugh. I remember one time my dad hosted an event. It was called Cruzada de la Unidad, which was this big event he did. Probably one of the first big events he's ever done. There was like 17,000 people. It was with a lot of awesome Spanish-speaking people. Understand that I did grow up in the Spanish community of the church, or the bilingual community. It's more bilingual now, more English than it was then. We had people like Apostle Guillermo. We had people like New Wine. We had people like Mia San Marcos. We had people like Julio Melgar, R.I.P. Julio Melgar. Love you. God bless you. God bless your family. I miss you already, dude. I hope you're enjoying heaven. We had a lot of awesome, cool people, local people as well. And I remember me, my brother, and my sister. It was like it was a vigil. So it ended around 3-4 in the morning. It started like around 6, and then you know, we were there all day. And I've always been a PK that has been involved in church stuff, big events, little events, you know, no events, anything has to do with any departments. Since I was a kid, I was always involved just because I love church, and that's something I see myself doing. It's just having a church that impacts the world. Being a mega church, a little church, a medium-sized church, it doesn't matter. As long as it is impacting people, impacting my city with the love of Christ, that's all I care about. I remember me, my brother, and my sister, it was probably one of the last times all three of us were involved in church. We went to the very, very top part of the arena, where there wasn't many people. It was like the very last ring of the arena. It was in the LA Sports Arena. That's how you know this is pretty old. I think it was 2009, summer of 2009. And we went to the very, very top of the arena. Me and my sister were there, and there were some other leaders there, right? And then all of a sudden, this usher comes up to us and it's like, "Hey, you guys can't be up here." And we're like, "Okay, we're gonna move right now." And we're like, "Just give us a second. We're just talking," because I think we were talking about what we're gonna eat or what we're gonna do, because we're all hungry. And then the usher comes up again. He's like, "Hey, you guys need to leave." And the usher just turns to her, over her shoulders, like, "Hey, you know that lady over there? That's the pastor's wife of this other pastor. You know, I'm not gonna say his name, Pastor Bob. That's Pastor Bob's wife, and he's one of the coordinators of this event. And you can get very in trouble. You can get very much in trouble if you don't leave now." And me and my brother and my sister I'm not a pushover. Even when I was a little more nicer back then, I was like, "B," and my brother and my sister and they were like, "Okay, we're gonna leave now." And I just stand there, and my brother's like, "Let's go." And I'm like, it's like, who's the pastor? It's like, "Oh, Pastor Bob. He's one of the main coordinators." I'm like, "Okay, well, our dad is Pastor Leo, Senior." And that lady, the usher lady, just went like, and then I looked at the pastor lady all the way in the back, and I was like, "My dad is Pastor Leo." And then the pastor lady goes like, "Oh, well, tell him I said hi." And I'm like, "You little son of a..."
When I was sitting there, who listen to the crowd of
People have the audacity to use the whole, "I'm the wife," or "I'm the husband," or "I'm the child." I mean, yeah, I did use the "I'm the pastor's kid" card, yeah, I know. But that lady deserved it because she thought she was cooler, and I was just like, "Yo, chill your ass down, please." Point being was the event was amazing, it was spectacular, I had a good time. I think that was the summer where I had a really awesome encounter with God too. I went to a youth camp retreat thing. It was a very spiritual youth camp retreat. It wasn't just like games. It was during the summer, so it wasn't just like a game-filling church youth retreat. It was very like encountering God, power-driven, word-driven, and it was fun, and I don't regret it. And I think since then, I just started building my relationship with Christ, at least my own personal relationship with Christ. It wasn't just like my parents would tell me do this and do that, which is awesome, but I started getting my own identity. Guys, I'm so sorry if you see the glare in my glasses. My camera loses focus when I don't have my glasses on, and it's hilarious. But when I have my contacts on, it's doing just fine. It is weird. Yeah, guys, I mean, a lot of you guys know that I grew up in church. A lot of my musical sensibility, a lot of my musical ability was because I grew up in church, and I would play in my friend's church, and there were black churches, there were African, like literally, they were African, they were Nigerian churches. I grew up playing in some of my friends' Nigerian churches. I grew up playing in some of my friends' Spanish-speaking Latino church, and it was cool, it was fun. But I just grew up in church, and I don't regret ever playing in church. You know, you can take me out of church, but you can never take the church out of me. And that's something I tell people. It's like, yo, people are like, you're so good. Why? I was like, because I kind of grew up in church. I did go to music school. Not only did I go to MI, I went to other community colleges. I went to other universities to study music and composition. But people are like, man, you're so good. And I was like, honestly, it's because I grew up in church and I learned how to read at a young age. I learned how to use music theory, how to read piano chords and blah, blah, blah. You know, church really prepared me. Church has done a lot of things. Church is one of the reasons why I'm so responsible, but church is also one of the main reasons why I'm so damaged. I can tell one of the benefits about growing up in church is I got to experience God in a different level, and that's awesome. I got to experience the love of God and the love of Christ. I won't say it was because the people gave it to me. I was always that one pastor's kid that people were very hard on me because I'm gonna be real honest. I'm probably the reason why our church has changed a lot and for the better. And I'm not saying, like, let me explain before people start like, oh, you think you're better than your dad and the pastor. Like, no, let me explain. My parents did church the way they knew how church was back in the 90s, 2000. But now over 2012, 2013, our church started changing. We started getting a lot of youth. We started growing in numbers. We started growing in English-speaking people. So my dad looks at me. He's like, hey, what should we do now? So I was like, okay, do you trust me? He's like, yeah. He's like, all right, I'm going to do things you're not going to like. He's like what? He's like, first of all, we're going to change the music. Dude, my dad hated the new sound we played in for the first couple of years, but he loves it now. My mom's always been the one that's like, you know what? Let's just change this. My dad's always like, but this is how I did it back in the 90s. I'm like, exactly. This is 2020, Dad. That is in the 90s. This is 20, 30 years apart. Like, relax. But then again, you know, like any pastor, and I look here, guys, I'm here to be real with you guys and be real with our parents about our parents, like, being real, is that no pastor is ready to be a pastor. Even if you go prepare yourself theoretically, spiritually, emotionally, physically, like, you can prepare yourself as best as you can, but it's once you have the congregation, once you have the leadership, nothing really prepares you for that. Honestly, nothing really prepares you for that. You might have the most faithful people, you might find yourself being around the most unfaithful people, but honestly, I don't regret it. I don't want to really focus on the bad that church has been, because it hasn't really been bad, but I've had very bad moments, but we'll talk about that later. Right now, I just want to just put it out there that I love church. I love growing up in church. I don't regret it. I know that the next couple of years, my church is going to continue growing. We just finished building our new temple. We're going to install the sound very soon. You know, we have our band going. We have this youth group going. Like, our church is finally taking off again. We did go through something very dramatic, which one day I will talk about the things about church that really damaged me. But one day we'll talk about that. Today, just know that I'm happy to be a fellow believer. I'm happy that you're watching this, all the PKs. You know what's up. You know what's good. I will make a part 2 of this video if you guys drop like 10 likes. Like, honestly, if we can make 10 likes, we can hit 10 likes in this video, I will drop another growing up PK video in the next 3 days from posting this video. Just saying. But that's pretty much all I have to say, guys. Like, I can focus on the music, I can focus on everything else, but this is more just an introduction. I have a lot of awesome music stories about traveling, touring, gigging, playing at my parents' spiritual home, which was with Apostle Guillermo, with New Wine, and playing with all those people. Guys, thank you for watching. I hope you laughed about me growing up in church and all the weird, crazy things we do. I love you. God bless you. Don't forget to like, share, hit that notification button. Follow me on Instagram and the Twitter bird. All the links are down below. If you have any pastoral questions, you have any PK problems, let me know down below. I want to help all the PKs. That's always been my goal, is to be a leader and a mentor to all the PKs, because I know how messed up they are, and sometimes it takes somebody who's been pretty damaged and built to help those around them. So if you're a PK, let me know. I love you. God bless you, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Bye!